All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie 2001 Maniacs. 2005's 2001 Maniacs, Lee. Had you seen it before?
2005, 2001. Hot! No. Why would I have seen this before?
It's got Robert Englund. There was a possibility.
True.
You could have seen this one.
Well, I don't know 2000 Maniacs either. That might have been an angle of like, oh,
it is.
You gotta see this remake.
It's kind of a sequel remake.
Do you know both? I don't even know.
Yeah, what is that one? Late 60s?
I know less than nothing.
There is a sequel to this.
2002 Maniacs.
I don't know I think it was called 2001 Maniacs, like something, like some subtext.
I will accept two possible titles, one of which is 3001 Maniacs, and one of which is 2002 Maniacs, and that's it.
I can't remember. I did not see it. Robert Englund does not come back for that one, but a lot of the other cast does. So shocking. Okay. Anyway, we're here to talk about 2001 Maniacs. I did see this when it first came out on VHS. Yep. And I enjoyed it then enough so that I bought it when it came out on DVD.
Okay, I've been making faces to make you think I hated it and doing body language tricks, neurolinguistic programming.
I don't pick up on those.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I don't dislike it.
I didn't think it was like, well, like I usually don't like stuff that's lowbrow or like whatever, but this, kind of came together and like it was very easy to watch. It didn't fall into a lot of the pitfalls these types of movies you make me watch often do. It was fine. It was fine.
There's like no plot at all, but honestly, do you need a plot?
No.
It's a perfect early 2000s movie in that regard. It fits all the tropes.
Horror fans should be obvious with themselves and say, I don't need a plot. Stop giving me all this plot.
Yeah.
And the plot, what little plot is here is lifted from other films. We'll get into that in like a humorous way for me. So I was like, this is fine.
If it didn't have Robert Englund, then we would have fallen flat, though. Let's be honest.
He steals the scenes he's in, obviously, right? So.
Which is why I have not seen the sequel to this.
And it's starring like almost no one as well, right?
Yeah.
So we'll go into there's a few
faces.
Yeah, but like in general, it isn't like the main person is Zac Efron or something where there's a reason Paul Walker's unknown horror.
This is one of the few early, so there's a lot of early 2000s movies that I really like, but then when I rewatch them I go, I
was so young.
And I didn't think that here. I was like, oh no, that's why you liked it, because it's fun.
Well, and I had never seen it, and I don't even care about Robert Englund. I really hate the cameo thing, actually, if we're going to talk like that. I'm sick of this. Oh, this guy, I don't care if who cares? If he's in a bad movie. It should have been Lance Hendrickson playing this character.
We've only been in it for 1 second.
Exactly. But no, this, like, having never seen it and knowing nothing about it, I went into it super low expectations, and I was like, it's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's okay.
That could be on the back of the box.
It's fine.
All right, guys, so you've seen it or don't care. Falls over to spoilers. If not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of 2001 Maniacs. Lee, let me hear them spoiler-filled thoughts.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like goofy. It's I think in the beginning they literally go to the same woods from Wrong Turn to film a scene that never comes back again. It's like transitional. It's like, you're taking a detour, you're taking a shortcut, and I'm like, is this literally a wrong turn? And then they cut to like an entirely different woods that has like different species of trees or something, and they're somewhere else. And I'm like, oh, that was weird as fuck. What's going on?
I would have, and not to disagree at all, but I still would imagine it's all in that, like, what do they call it, the 100 Oaks or whatever area. So like, it's probably within 20 miles in like a circle of every other place all these low budget movies filmed.
I was gonna say maybe it literally is the same.
I would actually say probably.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, all that stuff's filmed seemingly in the same zone. They only
Vancouver.
Have Vancouver.
I have no clue.
I think it's funny because it starts off a little stronger. Like, oh, it's the Russian components guy from fucking Armageddon.
American components, Russian components, all made in Taiwan.
Or the mobster, or the Unpimp the Auto, however you might know him.
Now, time to unpimp the auto.
Peter Stormare.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's a real actor in this movie.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So like, if you hadn't seen anything, you just came across on TV, you would be like, I am tricked into believing this might be a really good film here.
I forgot that entire part in the beginning.
General Sherman's march through South Carolina alone cost over 8,000 innocent Southerners their lives.
overall, a lot of bits are forgettable.
Well, because it never comes back,
Of
into
course
play,
not.
right? Exactly. I love that guy. He is the unpimps auto guy.
Yes.
But I also know him from Minority Report when he surgically operates on Tom Cruise's eyeballs.
Now, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so very much, John, for putting me there. Thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to get to know myself so much better. And now to return the favor.
Speaking of surgically operating, he cuts off what's-his-face's toes in Prison Break. And
One, and I know it.
2,
3.
I'm like, oh yeah, get him.
Didn't see Prison Break, but yes.
And now I spoil episode 2, or whatever the fuck that happens.
Well, now I can't watch it. I was gonna.
That's the reason.
I was this close. I was about to watch it finally.
He's really good.
He's great.
In general, like a great actor. So you're like,
Yeah.
and not that Robert Englund is not a great actor, but Robert
He's,
is accustomed to being in movies like this.
No,
but
and,
I haven't seen too many B movies with him, so you're like, oh, that's a notch above.
No, he is a character actor, but unlike some of the other ones, I think it's his name or something about his face. Like, I often forget to mention him when I run down the list of, like, Clancy Brown and Brad Dourif.
He's one of those
I don't
actors that I
of him.
think people know but do not know his
Exactly.
name. Yeah.
He's that guy. That's the whole...
Eli Roth, kind of one of those guys,
Oh,
honestly.
God. That was another moment when I was
Yeah.
like, oh, God.
Awesome. Let me get my pack, dude. Yeah, hop in, man. Go.
Well, I think he's a producer on this. So,
He is.
So, like, that
No,
makes sense.
when I say that was the moment, I don't mean when he throws the armadillo.
What the fuck? That was my armadillo.
I mean, when his name pops up in the credits, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not Eli Roth and I don't have the same aesthetic, whatever. He likes things I hate, and vice versa, I'm sure. So whenever I see him attached to something that's not the original Cabin Fever, I'm like, oh no, this is bad.
He's like the
stuff.
same character from Cabin Fever.
I think literally,
Yeah.
right? That's his thing or some shit.
I do like that, like, because you're like, what the fuck is chasing an armadillo? What the fuck is this? And then when you see him again throw it at some other car, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is his stick.
And it's like his sick armadillo fetish or something. And that was the moment too, because up until that moment I wasn't sure, like, and maybe I'm still not sure, is this going for like a comedy angle? And when he throws the armadillo at the next car that drives by, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it'll be funny, because that's kind of funny. So I'm like, oh, maybe this will be okay. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. And also, maybe Eli Roth will never be shown again to the whole movie. Like, oh, good. So that was all like uphill for me. I was like, yes.
I think the humor in the movie is unintentional. But I do think there is humor there, especially if you watch it as a person who lives in the world.
Interesting.
Just how quickly all these things happen. This one detour that sends people honestly, we have a group of 3 kids who are like college morons. They're about to flunk out of school. They're going on spring break to Fort Lauderdale.
Holy fucking shit.
That was really funny too.
That whole bit?
No, it has to be. Yes, it is a comedy because there are things in the script that are meant as funny things.
Of course, I'm not saying there aren't intentionally funny things in it, but I think overall it is not trying.
My
to be a
enjoyment
comedy.
level did not come from the intentional comedy, but yes, like when a movie's a horror comedy, because like this almost has the Scary Movie formula, where we're like borrowing from things and we're setting up these elaborate things. We're like a part of, Scary Movie, I can tell by your face you're not on board with this. Part of the Scary Movie thing is that part of the joke is that these characters don't realize how extreme the situation they're in, because everyone's acting like they're dumb and they're not tracking from one scene to the next because it's all just gratuitous nonsense. This could have been more like that, but they chose to put in dialogue and story beats and things that would happen in some attempt to make it into a movie.
I think
which made it
while
different
you
for
can
me.
say that, there's definitely just gratuitous nonsense. And
Your cousins? Cool.
Well,
that is a good
Those are
wording
those
for
moments, like all the deaths and a lot of the sequences
But just
are random.
Nature of things is like this movie easily could have been, oh, this is a group of friends, oh, they're on a convoy to Fort Lauderdale, oh, they get lost. But to add in this extra element of this is 3 independent parties that just become instant friends. They meet at a gas station and immediately, you don't know they're not dating. Like this guy just talks to this girl and now like it's like, oh yeah, we'll meet up with you when you get there.
We should all hook up when you guys hit town.
you got a number, hon?
Yeah, sure. You wouldn't happen to have a pen or...
He talks to the guy as if he owns her.
What's up, dude?
Not much. Just going on a road trip with the ladies.
Where you guys heading?
Daytona Beach. My brother's got a beach house.
He walks up and says, "Hey, bro, what's up?" yeah, we're gonna go to this place, and she's there because he goes to hit on her, but first he talks to him.
Yeah,
it's super
and
weird.
Am I mistaken?
But like,
aren't
yeah.
two of them making out like when we first
Yes.
come into the car, and then like it's like, oh no, he's a gay character. That was just for fun. She grabs his penis. Whatever, we just play.
I don't know. Let's unpack that in a moment. Just let me finish the part
Please.
where we're saying, yeah, they set up this ultimatum, right? It reminds me of like How High. There's a montage of them studying and drilling each other on things, and they're also training for a sport. So he's like doing push-ups, and he has like the physics textbook up there. The guy's holding it, and then it's like this montage, and then it's like slam, like, oh, we got straight Fs.
All F's, son. We are fucked. Fuck.
We suck at it, right? This was like that, where like whatever, the Professor Stormare guy is like giving them the ultimatum.
Expelled. That is, unless you all turn in 3 new term papers.
You're gonna have to hand this in by the end of spring break. Your spring break is ruined.
How did I fail women's studies? I love bitches.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, so like the whole plot's gonna be, how do we somehow not flunk, but also have a spring break? And that's gonna, they'll be left behind, and that's why they get picked up by Confederate Robert England or something. None of that's, it's just dropped in this very funny way.
Gentlemen, the party is over.
Where it cuts to them, woo, like driving down the road.
It did not need to
or
be
whatever.
involved
It's not
at
there
all.
yeah.
Because
but that's funny. It's a joke.
If
is
you
what
wanted
is
that,
my point.
but for a better thing, it would have been like, oh, we're intentionally going to this Confederate reenactment village. Oh, we're going to try to learn something real quick to get this thing.
For a moment, I thought it was going to be Bill and Ted. Where they go to this place that's frozen in time, and then they write their papers because they can ask these ghosts what the fuck, like literally. But I think it's an intentional
misdirect,
subversion joke thing to even have that character to set them up. Oh, you need to study hard, and they're like, fuck. Then they just ignore it completely and they go to their deaths.
They don't really hint at all till the end that they're even ghosts. Honestly,
no, I know.
Like it's really not until Robert Englund's like eye patch comes off and like maggots fall out.
Flood of maggots.
You're like at first you're like, what are you even saying here? That he's just some weird dirty southerner? And you're like, oh, it's because he's been underground for so. Like, what do you mean?
No, that was a part of my. When I say I enjoyed this movie for how shitty it was, that's it. Because there's the one girl who looks like Jim Carrey's girlfriend from something. That one with like the shorter hair, who's like
the pixie cut with the Jaws teeth.
Yeah, she ends up with Jaws teeth. But
if I supply the peaches, do you think you boys could supply the cream?
She has like fake veins that pop outside, where I'm like, are those real Jaws teeth? Did she go just put them in? Are those her real teeth, but they look like shit? What am I looking at?
They are fake teeth. She does put them in, but that moment you're mentioning there with the vein, I shout that out.
You're
where I was
like,
like,
what?
I was like, that's the only moment in the movie like that.
Yes.
And that doesn't scream ghost to me. That screams like, there's some genetic anomaly happening here. What is wrong?
She's the Confederate experiment to create a super soldier succubus.
But it's so strange because that cost money.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only effect shots like that in the film. So like someone had to want that pretty badly to justify its expense, but it does nothing but make me question why it exists.
It's so confusing. It's so outlandish and weird. And the fact that it's never addressed, because they address a lot in dialogue just to try to save the thing. I mean, they're doing the thing. It's like, hey, where's Stacy? And he goes, oh, Stacy's over there with that. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess that'll work for a few hours.
Yeah.
Like, it's plausible, right? But then, by the end, she has literal... Do you see her put them in? Are you saying you see that?
When she first kills the other boy from Connecticut, he goes, what are you doing? Putting in your retainer? She goes, something like that. And you hear it go, like a click in.
Fuck, how did I miss that?
What are you doing? Putting in your retainer, baby?
You could call it that.
Because I thought she was just down there, and then her head pops up and she just has the teeth. Because I thought
more or less that is what happened.
But I thought she was mute. Wait, was that all off camera? Did they add that later?
You don't.
Because people were like, they don't understand where the teeth came from.
The dialogue didn't sound dramatically different. Like sometimes you can tell, like, that's so clear. They added that in. It sounded like it was all captured at the same time, or they could have done it properly. But it was off screen. Her head is down.
Yes.
Her body is in shot, but you can't see her mouth.
No, they dubbed that in. That's my theory. My theory is that whenever you don't see an actor talk, and often when you do see them talk, it's dubbed in. Therefore, QED, quid pro quo.
I'll add that to your list. Anytime an animal kills someone, they're intentionally setting someone up for murder. If they're not on screen, they're not talking.
They're not on screen. Exactly. It's all fake.
Or if they are, is what
When in doubt, it's fake.
It's fake. Got it.
Movies are fake.
Hashtag
I'm sorry to
fake
tell you
news
this.
audio.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Deal.
I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but everything's fake.
But you have these outlandish characters just like meeting up and just becoming such fast friends. It just feels so weird that there was no reason not to make them friends the whole time.
No,
and the movie is a series of those kind of moments where it's like, why did you purposely go this way just to go that way?
No, but that's a comedy bit too, where it's like they wander into the place and it's the entire village and they're all like, welcome, you're our guests of honor.
Welcome to Pleasant Valley.
And then like another car comes up and they go, oh, there's more people, like, and they just roll with it, and I'm like, wait, are you not in control of how this works?
Looky here. Here's we got more guests fresh on the way.
Is this not a brigadoon that you lured them to?
That's what's
happening?
so strange.
And then the third people come up, and that's played for like a racial joke because neither is white or whatever.
And Negro and Chinaman to boot.
That's China woman.
And what a woman!
But also, it's like, well, everyone should look down the road. Like, wait, are there more? Like, when is it going to stop?
Because if you detoured the whole road,
Yeah.
and that's a main road, seemingly,
Exactly.
it's weird that A, more people don't show up, but B, that they all show up at the same time. Because like you were not driving down the street with that other car, so like
you're
why
not
did you
in
end up
the
1 second
caravan,
away?
yes.
Like just
And
make
we've
it a
seen
caravan.
100 movies where it's like, you know, like the walkie-talkie. Hey, we take a shortcut, you'll see it, and then they get there and they go, we don't see a sign. What do we do? Just make the left. The left. Oh shit, there is. Look at that. And they go and then they just go there.
Because they
right?
had a dialogue.
Why?
They even said they were both going the same place. It very easily could have been like, oh, follow me, I know a shortcut. Why'd you say you know a shortcut? You're a fucking idiot. I'll figure it out. And
Did
then
you
this
see
could've all
her?
happened.
She's a 10 out of 10. I would have said anything to get her to follow us. Something like that.
And had they had the money and budget to have the motorcycle car, actually at the gas station too, it could have been like them going, oh, we're going there. They know a shortcut. I'll just follow the idiots. Okay, and then that's how they all get there.
Yeah.
And it costs you no money, and it would all be fine.
Or just show the rednecks removing the detour sign and cut to that so I can go. They probably couldn't even do that later because literally all the rednecks are in that one scene. It would have broken their continuity.
Well, there were a
funny.
few scenes that cut directly from one place to another place, and the same rednecks are there.
I say sheep doggy.
Ring the dinner bell. It's killing time.
Yeah,
because there was that one interesting looking one that had like a prosthetic arm or something.
The little arm.
Like that guy is in a scene back to back.
They use him everywhere just because they're
Why
like,
wouldn't you?
He's such a distinct weird dude. We got to use him. Yeah.
I don't even know how far it's supposed to be from that gas station to the Brigadoon town because seemingly that guy was in on it because he's like, they'll all be dead by midnight.
If we drive through the night, we'll be quaffing beers by noon and boffing chicks by 5.
And pushing up daisies by midnight.
Like, either he's a ghost too and is working at a gas station, or he knows.
The main thing about this character is that it is Travis Tritt.
Okay. Wait, who's Travis Tritt?
A country music star.
Oh, I didn't even know that guy.
I was at the exact right age to be at the mercy of the adults on the radio in my life.
Okay.
When my father, who was a musician at the time, was in a pop country band, and we were constantly listening because even in the faraway land of New Jersey, I forget if it's like late '90s or something. Whatever, country was really popular. It was like mainstream popular in a way that has never been before or since. And Travis Tritt was right there with Garth Brooks and a bunch of other people.
Really? That is wild.
It was amazing. He has a song, Trouble, but it's like T-R-U, I smell T-R-O-U-B-L-E. He's doing this whole thing. He's great. He's funny. He's like a Dwight Yoakam. I think he's done a few acts. He's probably in Maverick somewhere, but we didn't notice him. He's probably like one of those guys.
Pushing up daisies by midnight.
Okay.
He's great. And so, like, I was like, damn, he has one line that, that he says twice. That's such, like, a cheap... And then he pops out of the trunk in the dream sequence. And they show the thing hitting the face. I'm like, that was so cool. And Travis Tritt got a little bit of action in the movie. I'm like, that's great. And then he's never seen again. But yes, is he a ghost? Is he just a washed up country music star? What's happening?
A lot of things, because like the movie doesn't scream ghost, like honestly
never
at all, until they just say like he's a ghost. At one point, you see a guy walking on the street just like vanish.
That's
and,
after
like,
the reveal, though. That's
yes,
not,
but aside from those, like them saying we're ghosts, so like going back, like they've been dead for 200 years. Like there's not a ghost vibe in this movie.
I guess we should explicitly say they get the cops and they go, and it's not the Nothing But Trouble ending where the cops in on it. No, it's that we'll take you out there. And it's just a big cemetery. Right?
This here's your Pleasant Valley.
Ain't nothing but a graveyard been here for the last 150 years.
No.
Right?
Yes.
Oh shit. Yes, in the finale they put like Halloween store zombie makeup on them a little. They look like a little shitty. I don't know if you even noticed.
You barely. They
make
honestly
some of
just
the
look
girls
a little dirtier.
Yeah, they
like,
make them look a little dirty. Exactly. They make him look a little shitty and dirty, and that's supposed to communicate because he's there. He hasn't put the eye patch back on once it gets torn off of him. So you just see the gaping bone hole in his head.
An eye for an eye.
So you're supposed to gather from that and this light makeup from the other people that like, oh, they're the undead
It
army.
is not communicated very well,
stupid.
if at all. Because aside from them being deeply affected by the tragedies that befall the South, 100 years ago, like, you don't really understand, and they do reference it in a way like they did to us, like that. It does feel personal, but other than that, it's like, well, the South also just kind of feels that way sometimes. They're like, for 5 years we had a good Confederacy going. Why'd they fuck us?
They went to such lengths though, because that's the real purpose, the real purpose of the intro.
You might better understand why so many Southerners still are angry at the North and their rampage of death and destruction.
Is to remind you of Sherman's March to the Sea,
Yeah.
and then for this to be a town where it's like, they were just innocent and on the way to the sea, so Sherman must have done this. And I'm like, it was a war, I'm sorry, a lot of people died on both sides, like, why?
Yeah.
And then they're haunting this place until they get their revenge and stuff. It's like a whole thing. But that is never, right?
It would be cool if there was like a ticker somewhere where until 2001 people were killed. And maybe the curse ends that night because they only needed X amount, and you two are past the 2001.
No, it could be
there'd
like,
be no reason to let them go. My eye, don't take my other eye. I'm a fucking ghost.
I beg of you, not my good eye. I'll do it. I swear I'll do it. You'll be whistling Dixie out of your eye socket unless you let us go.
Who gives a shit?
Again, yeah, because that's before the reveal, so you're meant to think that that's a real eye at that point. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Obviously, a lot of stuff does not make sense. It's a big nightmare. Yes, it felt like something was missing, because how does this movie actually end? They let them go, then they come back, and he's disrespectful to, like, the grave. So then they like curse them to kill them outside of the village in a way that would make no sense, where they could have killed them before they even got to the village then.
Eye for an eye, Mr. Lee, for an eye.
What is happening? I'm sure you hate this. Fine.
I thought the effect was done pretty decently.
Okay.
I like razor wire cuts,
delayed,
cuts him off. His head just like slides off. The other dude fires things. The other dude, I have serious questions about him.
Yeah.
How old is he supposed to be?
He is whatever the age is, where his voice didn't work for them, so they pitched it up.
Damn Yankees.
What is happening?
I don't know.
They pitched up his voice, right?
Oh, or he has a helium disorder. He's supposed to be a child, it seems, and I don't understand, or like the mind of a child. I don't know, like something.
Listen, you can play a bumpkin if you want at any age. You don't need to pitch up his dialogue and make it
he's
feel
supposed to be a child.
It reminded me of Fred, like
yes,
the internet's Fred.
Your voice is weird. From originalyoutube.com/Fred owner.
It was like that. So
Might have been Fred.
So it was very distracting the whole time, where I'm like, what am I looking at?
No, I don't know.
And yes, he's the linchpin. He's the enforcer. He's the one who goes out to kill the ones that get away. How is this possible?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know. Him strangling the cat was a truly like.
Listen, my mama gave me a silver dollar for every broken neck pussy I bring home.
That
cool.
lynching the cat moment, the cat is the best actor in the movie. The face the cat makes when he does like the reveal with the noose is like.
Kill Kitty. Shit. See, Kitty's been bad. Real bad. I'm gonna lynch her.
Ah, you motherfucker! Like, it's a great cat face.
Yeah.
Great cat acting.
10 out of 10 cat acting.
But that kid, I don't know, because, like, is he supposed to be a small child? Because he's in the bathtub scene with the girls.
Rubber dub. He wants me in that tub.
No, buddy. Get some pants on that little ding-dong of yours.
Shoot, Granny. Today's my turn in the barrel.
But then if you look at the background, there are guys there, too.
The good Lord has blessed each one of us with distinct virtues. And it is our responsibility as ladies to figure out what they are and how to use them.
And I'm like, what are these two females that are in this random town just like, yes, townspeople, bathe me in public.
Me.
I hope you all will allow us to share our ways. You are shy and rough, but under them northern exteriors, I think y'all gonna clean up real good.
Okay.
What?
The guys in the background are the musicians, I think,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
Yeah, so they don't count because they're musicians.
Apparently, they're just objects.
They're like eunuchs, right? They can be around the priestesses. It's a whole thing. And yes, he must either be... Unfortunately, it's not conclusive, though. Because if he was young or a simpleton, they might react like, oh, it's okay if he sees us naked because it doesn't count.
I guess.
Right? Listen, people are weird like that. I understand. But but the point is, even once we're done with the analysis, it's still a struggle. We still don't have it, okay?
No,
it's still
very
obscure.
Weird. Well,
Yes.
because it's so weird too, because just the idea of a lot of the things that are accepted. Oh, we're gonna put you in dresses and dance you around.
Yeah.
We're gonna bathe you. We're gonna separate you from your friends. Like all these things that you would just have to be going along with.
Yeah.
That you would never go along with.
Exactly, and that's the vibe that I've talked about, where it must be played for comedy at some point. Like when they crush the chick with the bell and stuff. It's like a dance number.
Time has come to do what's right.
Right.
Because we only begun to renew the fight. Yeah.
Where she goes over and holds like a rope, and then when it cuts to the wide for us to laugh at how obviously they're setting her up to be killed, but that no one in the scene was like, oh, wait a minute, don't do that, right? They just lead her over to stand somewhere, and there's obviously, right? It's like
a fun death, crushed with a bell.
These are fun, these are great, but I think that there must be a comedic element in the setup where like you're just like they tie all four of her limbs to something.
Oh my God!
And then
that's the most ludicrous drawn and quartering I've ever seen.
Sprinkling this pussy. I don't give a damn.
The drawing and the quartering makes no sense, but even her reaction was like, Jenny McCarthy in Scary Movie. She's like, this is not cool, you guys.
Harper, honey, this isn't exactly what I had in mind.
Like she was like not, in my opinion, upset enough for what was happening, right?
That's pretty much every scene where someone's being murdered. Like the guy gets his dick bit off multiple times. She comes in like a fucking piranha, and he's just like, I would have decked her so fast. Like,
probably,
like,
right?
Bite me once, I kill you. Bite me twice, no.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, bite me once, shame on you.
Bite.
We can't get bit again.
Like, what?
The biting will not continue.
Crazy, but her drawn and quartering, I hate those moments so much in movies because, like,
listen,
I
was okay with it until the fourth limb got torn off.
Yeah.
When I was like, what's that then?
At a certain point, you just get dragged. Like, you have to be. But she's like on a green screen or something. I don't know what that situation was, but it was very weird, very awkward, funny. These are the moments I enjoy for humor purposes. They're not intended for humor, though. Obviously not. Same way with the guy getting crushed and his eyes pop out. I like that.
Yeah.
Even just him coming across that kid crushing a rat, you're like, what the fuck?
Hey, Precious. What are you doing there? Huh? Oh.
That's foreshadowing right there.
It is exactly foreshadowing.
Okay. Yeah, that's the same guy. Yeah.
Same guy.
I looked him up because I was like, he's doing a Keith David impression on purpose or something. What's going on
It's his son.
Is it?
No.
Oh my God!
That'd be great though.
I didn't look up anybody. I meant to be like, because everybody seemed like a poor man's whoever. So I was like, this will be funny if I do know them from anywhere, and I just didn't get a chance to do the research.
I did click on a couple of them. A few people are familiar with our writer-director, like the boy that gets her to the drawing cornering. He was in Cabin Fever. He was also in Detroit Rock City, which are all related to our boys here, Eli Roth and him.
I'm here to welcome y'all and invite you to take in some of our sights.
They made those movies. I love Detroit Rock City. I think that's a really good movie. It's a stark contrast to this.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Yeah, but it's funny because if you look at the four main characters from Detroit Rock City, a lot of them are B-movie actors now, and I think it's because they fell into these guys before they got into the real movie. It's your Edward Furlong. It's the guy from Swim Fan that doesn't talk that much. What the fuck is his name? The long-haired creepy guy.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. but he's in a couple like Transylvania. He's in a lot of those kind of movies.
Dudes that have been around. Yeah, the faces looked familiar, but I kept being like, well, that's not him. That's somebody else. Whatever. The older, like Granny, whoever.
It's Granny to you, sonny boy.
Yeah, she's
I didn't watch
and all those other movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say whichever one was like the final key with the key fingers.
Yeah.
Is that Insidious still?
Yeah,
or something?
it's the world.
The Insidious universe.
It branched off to be so many things.
I've seen none of those movies, but I even recognize. I'm like, oh no, she's from other horror movies. I know her.
She's just famous in general.
Yeah,
she's
been
in a lot of comedies.
She was really good. I like the crazy.
Something about Mary is probably her biggest role. I think she was like Mary's
God.
aunt or whoever she was.
Yeah, she's Mary, exactly.
Yeah, she was Mary. Yeah,
of course.
Amidst all the joviality, I was struck by a thought. Oh my God! What if this had really happened?
Time has ravaged.
No, she's held up great. That was like 40 years ago.
Well, you know, a lot of 40 years ago.
How long was it?
Something Mary?
25?
20 years ago?
Yeah. We're dead.
Well, I died.
Man, I could drink her bathwater.
Dude, I'd eat the peanuts out of her shit.
She's not your type, dog. Trust me.
Haven't you heard of the civil rights movement? Is that anything like a bowel movement?
Any more luggage, boy? Boy? Ain't y'all motherfuckers ever heard of the civil rights movement? Is that anything like a bowel movement? What are you, out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, because that too, you were like, well, do they know about the normal world?
I just took it at like when you're watching it, it was like, he's racist bumpkin, and then we look back and like it didn't happen yet. Like,
yeah, I was hoping he was a racist bumpkin, but it turns out it had like a Get Out vibe, where it's like all these characters answer your questions in a way that could mean two things. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think if you're gonna paint this picture better, there should have been moments of like, what's that? Like he's on a cell phone at one point, and someone would be like, what the fuck? Or honestly, cars. Like all of this should have been something like.
Yeah, that's.
And
where
I guess
it's
because they've been killing people for years.
No,
but
like they
new technology still advances.
Yeah. They have to have learned from the other souls they've captured, right? Oh, like you were saying before, I forgot to like. It would have been cool if like certain people were kind of up for it, and they would be the next ones to be like, you know, sent like released from their purgatory or something like that. So that Granny could have been like, oh, it's, you know, tonight's my chance to go or something, right? Where it seems like to your earlier,
as you kill someone, you are released.
Where like
that would be interesting.
Where you are trading souls like one at a time, and that's a part of it. Is that like, you know, we only have so many people in the town. It's getting harder to pull off the festival. And listen, just go with it. Oh my God, just grab them. Why are we pretending? Go. It had this weird vibe and stuff.
Or
and
some of the souls are like it's a trade. And now, like, there are people from different generations in there too.
Oh, if they get stuck there instead, and now it's just this thing of like, if you know what's good for you, you better play along.
Yeah, so they have some people on their side, some on the other side.
But yeah, even just, you know, to your point of like more ambiguous interactions where it's like, well, I want to be polite. I don't want to grab you and shake you and be like, you know what a cell phone is, bitch. But also she's like, LOL, well, I never needed one myself. You do a weird thing where they're like, that could mean anything. Like, what are you saying? But yeah, the movie is completely uninterested with exploring these things.
No.
The ending is so tacked on that it literally has nothing to do with anything, basically, right?
I feel like a lot of chunks are. Yeah.
They just kept tacking on parts till they were done.
Well, and there's something for making a movie that's just fun.
Yeah.
And that's like, you're like, oh, and this scene would be cool, and this scene would be cool. Like type of things are cool. Like the acid. I was like, did we have acid like that in that time period? Furthermore, like what?
Yeah.
Like anything that you're physically doing, I'm like, okay, but when a ghost has to import something, like where the fuck did that come from?
No, that makes no sense. Because that's
like siphon your own fucking acid death.
That's to make you think that it's going somewhere else.
Yeah.
But then when it doesn't go there and it goes where it goes, you look back and you go, well, yeah, why did the ghost feel the need? I thought it was going to be a thing where she was sucking something out of him and it was like a trick or something like that. Something.
It's weird too to be like, okay, you ruined that bed. The bed's out front now in the garbage, but the whole thing is a ghost bed. So like, what the fuck are you even saying?
So how is that? Are we somehow getting an infinite source of wood out of this? Like, what's happening? Yes.
I don't know.
Makes no sense. Which is, listen, that's what I meant before, is like they're doing the bare minimum to provide something on screen, you know, minute to minute. But obviously, as a movie, it's garbage. There's nothing there.
The amount of times a man chases a goat or a sheep in a sexual manner.
She's just playing hard to get.
Off the charts. We have like 4 maybe of those.
Well, is this mutton chop at least a girlie? She's a woman to you, Daddy.
And her name is even Jezebel.
Jezebel, yeah.
Which implies, I think it's some biblical thing where like she's like she's tempting him. She's a whore.
Don't y'all mind us, none. Jezebel, come here, you little mutton chop.
and like manipulating him into doing this, into like, you know, giving in to her
wilds,
her like seduction or something. Yeah, which this little random thing, and again, that's Eli Roth being like, fucking a sheep, and he has to put that in there, right?
I hear in Ireland that's a
thing. Did you enjoy that?
Did
you enjoy the sheep fucking?
The first time
Answer
it's
carefully.
a little funny.
Well, because it comes out of nowhere. It's a funny little thing.
When you beat me to death with your sheep incest or whatever you want to call it.
Because it's a running gag. It's the funniest thing in the world to these mooks.
And honestly, when I watched this, I was probably
You were a mook yourself. You were a little mook.
Probably 18 or 17.
Sure.
So like I was probably at a better receptive age for these kind of jokes.
Sure. Some people never grow out of these jokes. Some people are 40 and they're still laughing at these jokes today.
Yeah. Well, if I kept drinking, maybe.
Right? That's probably, honestly, that's probably the difference. That's what keeps your brain like a 7-year-old's.
To the ties that bind, friendship, and in this case, the fine folks of Pleasant Valley.
The best line comes from Robert Englund, and like it's honestly a good quote that you could use in other parts of your life. When he's like, one time I had all the confidence in the world in a fart, shit myself.
One time, I had full confidence in a fart. Shit all over myself.
And I'm like, yeah, don't just trust things. Good advice, Robert.
Words to live by, wisdom from the ages.
You know, sometimes wisdom has to be crude for you to take it in.
Listen, that was as true 200 years ago as it was today.
It is.
Another joke I hated. But he's committed. He leans in. He like delivers those lines. He's into it.
Yeah, and while of course it is a joke, it's also sound advice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
There is a moment where I think it's the sheriff from
Nottingham.
Yes, but I was gonna say Cabin Fever or deputy, whatever the fuck guy is. He like makes a threat and like he has a knife in his hand, but rather than just like point it at the person while making a threat, he like cuts his own hand to show how serious he is.
You know, we don't take too well to rejection. We've been known to react harshly to them that crosses us.
And that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But when you're like, oh, he's a ghost, okay, I guess it's not that dumb, but still dumb.
Extremely effective is what I think you mean. The other characters were like, whoa, this guy's fucking crazy. I'm stopping what I'm doing.
A question that this made me think of was when they did that horseshoes bit. I was like, is that true? Was that a French hunting thing? Is that a man's game like that?
That has what to do with horseshoes?
Horseshoes is a military game in origin. Goes back to the old French trappers' method of gapping mink, as they called it.
I didn't even consider looking it up.
I didn't either, but I was thinking like those aren't, the weight isn't in the right place for that to work. No. I don't think it could ever be that like harpoon that they are firing.
We as a society in our modern age have created so much imaginary history around great warriors of old and their unique weapons. We know shit about the New Zealand dudes and they do that dance in front of their rugby matches.
The haka?
Yeah, we have strip mined history for cool things. If like colonial hunters were using like glaives from fucking science fiction thing to hunt, we would know. All right,
and like
I must believe we would know.
I could see it like someone's running away and you're like, thump, and just like like you would throw a horseshoe and it just like catches their heel and they're like, ah, it's broken. But the way that it went in and was like, fing, like speared that skull, I was like,
and they each throw it in different ways because it's like you can't throw it to do the thing that's doing, so you have to just like make something. It was very goofy, yes.
Let's watch the style.
I did like the little things where like so close yet so far, like you could see all these bad things, like he's eating the tattoo.
Cat always bags the fine guys first. Just once I wish she was the one eating. Sloppy seconds.
And you're thinking of when you see the other side of
yes,
the heads,
yes, exactly.
Because they've been doing target practice on the heads, which is terrible, right? Because that's
it's
such
very
an
dumb.
Obvious.
Very dumb.
Well, because
what if they mink or something?
What if they tilt too far? Yeah. And those lines are always so insulting. That's what I hate in these movies.
The hell is that? It's a mink or something.
Come on, gap it. Gap it.
where it's like something like that, and then you have to put it in a line of dialogue of like, wouldn't they be curious what those things are? Oh yeah, put it in a line where the guy's like, I don't know, something stupid, and they're like, okay, and they just do their thing, and I'm like, ugh, fine.
Well, that
whatever.
guy gets violated by like a spear. For lack of better word.
Yeah.
I thought that like that shot was fun and goofy, but I also thought it worked because he seemed straight enough. Like a lot of those moments, like your head's tilted, it's like, oh, what is the bar bent now? Like, but I think that they conveyed that pretty decently. I thought it was effective when she like licks the blood off the tip. I was like, that's gross. Okay. That tells me you're a sick person.
I loved that scene too, and I think it happens more than once with blood in two places, but when she does it, I think there's like a bunch of other people around, a bunch of other actors, and some of them don't react right, so I think like she ad-libbed that.
Good job, gals!
To be like awesome and stuff, but yes, those moments are really effective because it goes one step, like even the kitchen and stuff when they're showing like the butchering of the people and just kind of
weird strawberry blood.
When they're just talking shop.
Oh, Granny Boone done cooked up one hell of a roast of this one here.
Yes, sir.
Like, well, you're gonna have a great harvest, you know, like a big old feast tonight, and it's like killing the
Granny Boone gonna have her hands full for the festival.
Yeah, can't wait to taste the rest of her to barbecue.
It's the opposite of Wrong Turn, where they're like, you can tell they're doing something nasty. They're doing weird stuff. These are just like, hey, you know.
Yeah. There are a few issues though.
Put an apple in her mouth.
Like the tattoo would still be on the part of the body that's in there.
Yeah.
The steak, which is clearly, you know, a cut off piece in his mouth. Later when they show the head, that's still in his mouth. I'm like, did you cut the metal to make that work? Because we saw the metal on the ground. Our boy kicked it by mistake when he walked in that room.
Yeah.
So did you put it back in his mouth, you britch? I'm like, that's not a thing.
I didn't catch that. I think logistically it broke off or something. I don't know what they're trying to convey, but I'm not into it either.
It's just a mistake.
At that point, I was like, never mind. Everything's fine. We're just doing the thing, right? That character, though, right, is sort of ambiguously sexual. Like, I thought it was maybe even like progressive of them, because right, he arm wrestles the redneck guy.
God damn. Winner does the pitching, loser does the catching. Oh, screw that. Even you're gonna get laid? That's right.
He wins.
And he wins, which means he gets to fuck that guy now. And if he'd lost, that guy would have fucked him. And Robert Englund is like, you're gonna cornhole that Yankee later.
Remind Lester that he has to cornhole that sissy boy. I know it goes against the good Lord.
I'll do it, Daddy.
And then like, it turns.
Don't be excited about it.
I'll do it, Daddy.
That's nothing to get excited about, Rufus. God damn it!
Come on, Rufus, put your weight into it.
Yeah, and then it turns into this weird thing where like he gets fucked instead, and then the guy's like, your son loved it or some weird stuff.
He squealed like a pig.
Yeah, this entire element in there is like weirdly, because like I guess it's a joke because he gets like impaled in the ass type of thing, but that's the only like anti-gay part of the text.
I actually would have liked it. A more woke movie would have been like, yes, he wins the arm wrestling. Yes, they have sex. And now that boy's on his side. Because the moment like, here, let me help you.
Need a hand?
But then it immediately is like, I'm holding you down while you get violated.
Yes.
It would have been nice if like, he couldn't admit this in like, you know, the time he's from, but now I'm going to help you escape. And like, actually he gets away.
No, and
that
like,
would have been nice.
That's, because like, not just for woke purposes, but could be
just for narrative purposes.
Yeah, because they do it as a fake out where you think that might happen. That's what I'm thinking.
The tone of his voice, though, is very much, I'm a fuck you, boy.
That could have been the misdirect, right?
Yeah.
Where you think it's going to be bad, but then they're hiding together. And then I would have even gone, just so it's not too, laying it on too thick, pun intended, you can make it where that guy was just like, listen, I don't care about you at all, because he could be like in love with him now. And he's like, listen, I got somewhere to be. And he's like, oh, and then it becomes this even funnier, worse thing or whatever. But there's stuff you could do, is the point. And but even for this time, for whatever this was, early 2000s, right? We're doing like a not weird, like it's not just a big joke that he's gay or bi or that whatever.
Yeah, no.
It just folds into the funny, dumb shit that's happening.
Yeah, there's almost no gay jokes, which is actually surprising for the time.
Yeah, there's no like either way. It's not trying to shove it down your throat, pun intended again. I'm full of them, right? Either way. It's just like, this character happens to be, and it fits, right? Because you would expect they could have made some like ugly chick, and it's a bet if you have sex with her and something he like throwing horseshoes and he wins and something, right? It could have been something else, but they chose this because it's funny.
On it, guess having so much fun, he can't stand it.
He squealed like a pig.
But yeah, it just ends very like, and weird. Like going to the cop and then like it not being that thing where he's in on it, and him going back. It's like, okay, I know after the fact that like it's because this cop's like, you're blowing smoke in my ass. I get one of these things every couple of weeks, whatever. But the idea that like it is a potential murder thing, and like you go back with one cop, hey, I'm never going back to that town ever in my life. Like, that's just a thing, especially not with one redneck cop, because I'm a fucking person who has ideas and thoughts and goes, I'm in the South. Very easily, uncles, brothers, cousins, I don't know who the fuck you are. I'm coming back with the army if I ever come back, which is never.
With the federales.
Yeah.
No,
like,
yeah, you
what
can't.
The fuck?
I mean, yeah, you can't go local in this scenario, even if you're doing that. Like, you would need, like, a county or state or something.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go to, like, just the first guy you see.
Because even if he's not against you, he's one guy in an unmarked pickup truck. Yeah. Who the fuck is he? Walker, Texas Ranger?
Walker told me I have AIDS.
I don't give a shit.
Not unless he's Dog the Bounty Hunter. Would I ever trust one man? Or no, Steven Seagal. What is the Steven Seagal, a cop thing?
I'm here to protect this land for the Eskimos.
No, he became a cop.
Oh yeah, that's in New Orleans.
He's a real fake cop.
Yeah.
I went doom. I shot, and somebody said, "Man, I think he missed the whole target." And then somebody else said, "Hell no, he hit all the bad guys in the eye."
They're in Georgia.
I'm just saying, if he was around, that's a one-man army.
I've already ended, Lee. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
I bid you adieu. It's German. I'll see you later.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinion